I'm just picturing the, hey, Jess, come here. I got something I want to show you.
Yeah, well, basically that's what it was. I want your opinion. Here it is. 3, 2, 1.
Pretty good. Not bad.
I do like that.
It is longer than the other one.
It is much longer than the other one. It's probably about 3 times longer. But I was throwing it together, and what caused us to no longer use the other one is because the music on it got flagged as a copyright infringement. Oh, well. And so that music I created was Suno AI.
See, and that's the second death metal-y kind of song you did in a row. I've never pegged you for a death metal kind of guy.
But not really, but something to get you just pumping really fast. That's what it's good for.
Well, I liked a lot of the visuals right away. Tim Lingzor goes, the Dalek, are we going to get in trouble for that? Is that it's like, no, it's
too short.
Visually, it's all fan art at this point.
Yeah, and that was the Dalek, and all those intersped images were created by AI. So those are all open source. And the video portion of it, that was from a 1960s Japanese adaptation of Gulliver's Travels, where they go in a spaceship and go up.
If we wanted, it would not take anything to make one that was nothing but public domain shit. Because so much shit we grew up with, Popeye, Batman, Mickey Mouse, all that shit. Not Batman, not yet, but half that shit's public domain.
Oh yeah, see, that's the thing is that video and a bunch of other videos I pulled off of Internet Archives, and I've also got some videos in there, some classic 1940s Superman cartoons. All right, yep. 1950s Superman cartoons, some Thunderbirds.
Well, I didn't see Thunderbirds in there, dang it.
No, I didn't use it. I didn't use it in there because this was just the first iteration, just to see what people like. And I also pulled, some stuff from like 1902 and 1930s and stuff like that.
That Thunderbirds is one of those that I still have a fondness for, but I don't know that I would recommend anybody to go watch it. But I would say, if you like Thunderbirds, just go watch Team America. Tell me what you think, and then we'll have a discussion after that.
Yeah.
I love Team America. That is the most expensive marionette project ever done. Did you notice that in Paris, the cobblestones were little croissants?
I didn't notice it during the movie, but I watched a documentary on the making of.
Oh, yeah?
And the amount of little details they put in there like that. Because I was like, no fucking way. And then you're up against the TV going, holy shit. And not only is it like all those little details, they got little, almost like in Star Trek where they put the little tags on shit, Yeah. They'll have like Shakespeare quotes or whatever. They got little bits like that all over, little jokes and stuff in the background that they've tagged on. And they are very good at detail, or they were really bored while everybody was shooting the puppets and said, well, what if we'll just keep writing while you guys are filming this?
I'm trying to think. The other thing that I saw today, I'm looking up right now if it's apparently I found out today that an uncredited voice actor, I found this out last night, an uncredited voice actor in The Fifth Element. You know when Corbin Dallas is on the phone talking to the guy who runs the cabbie thing? And
yeah.
He's like, how many hits do you have on your license? You know that guy?
Yeah.
Vin Diesel.
Is it really?
He's an uncredited voice actor for that. It was Vin Diesel. Hey, Dustin.
It's crazy how much, what up, nerd? How much voice acting work Vin Diesel did before I ever knew who the fuck he was. I think Pitch Black, not Pitch Black, but
yeah, Pitch Black was where he hit the scene.
Was that the first one? I couldn't remember if
That I
Pitch Black
know of.
was the first movie. Yeah, because Chronicles of Riddick's what he did later. So that's the first time I really remember seeing him, and everybody went nuts, and they were talking about how sexy he was and shit. And I'm like, he's another fucking uh, Jason Statham, Bruce Willis kind, bald action dude. And then I found out he was Iron Giant,
Well,
and
hold
that made
on.
me go, "You're one of us."
He was Iron Giant.
Right?
Before Pitch Black, he was in Awakenings. He was an uncredited orderly.
Okay.
He was in Multifacial. That sounds like a porno.
Sounds a lot like a porno. I saw a
he was-
multifacial
Yeah, it
too.
sounds like
Don't
Daryl's
close your
Bukkake.
eyes.
But in 1998, he was in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I think I did see a thing where he was in that.
Yeah, then after that, his career took off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the Iron Giant's one of those, but it's kind of like the Groot thing, too. I think almost anybody could have pulled off what he did with Groot,
No.
I think so.
I gotta admit, he is
No.
Groot.
You think?
It's the inflection. He uses the inflection.
Groot?
Yeah, he does it well.
And it's
Other people could, but not anybody.
It's nothing against Vin Diesel, but I mean, in my mind, I look at it and I go, they were just trying to tag a name with Groot. They could have put any good or reasonable voice actor in there to do the same thing and pulled it off, I think. I mean, fuck, we've all worked with 1,000 voice actors over time, and they can all pull that same shit off. I mean, listen to Daryl's melodious voice. He could probably do fucking I Am Groot.
I tried doing some voice work, and they told me no, my voice didn't sound regular enough.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Even with Vin Diesel, though, do you think he would have got that job if he wasn't Vin Diesel?
He got that job because he was a meathead. Well, hold on. Leading up to it, he was a meathead. That got him into Pitch Black, which got him the notoriety.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong. I hear he's an excellent writer, and he really pushes things. I've heard that.
He's a real D&D fanatic.
Oh, he is.
He is a huge D&D fanatic.
I love that where, what's her name in
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious is over at his house, and he's asked her if she wants to play D&D. Have you seen that video? He just opens up this huge closet that's about the size of this office, and it's just lined with like every D&D book ever made.
Yeah,
you know,
just all this
he's
stuff.
like, yeah, I play a bit.
And she said that's when she realized that he loves D&D.
Yes. It's not like he happens to play and own some books, Well,
it's like Superman in fucking 40K.
Yeah.
That's so awesome that those kind of people play the shit we grew up on.
Well, it amazes me sometimes. I mean, I like it, and I'm sure other gaming friends do. When you hear of these countless D&D celebrity groups that get together and play and different things like that, and I always thought that was cool when that shit happened. But on the other hand, it's almost like people almost act like, well, it wasn't cool till fucking Henry Cavill started doing it. What Henry Cavill's doing, it's cool. No. You guys doing it for years, that means jack and shit. But Henry Cavill, I mean, he could get laid, so it must be cool then.
I had no problem getting laid.
I know, it's but
yeah, especially when you're wearing County Orange. But
that's another story, motherfucker.
When you're wearing County Orange, people don't say no; they just say later. That's fucking. I don't know how that works.
What's that term? Gay for the stay? I don't know.
It's only a hustle if you quit 2 weeks before you get out.
No, but it's like what's her name? Felicia Day.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right. She was such a World of Warcraft fanatic that it almost tanked her entire career because she was completely addicted to it. And then once she pulled herself out, then she went ahead with some of her actor friends and developed the project The Guild.
Right.
And use that to, propel herself back up into stardom. Because she originally, first time I saw her, she was an extra on Buffy. No, not an extra. She was one of the.
Dustin says I'm not
$20 is $20. I got
$20.
bad news for you, Dustin. Today's economy, $20 ain't much.
Fucking don't tell him that, man.
That's a hell of an entertainment value to me,
yeah,
bro.
Between the three of us, we got $60, Dustin. Let's talk.
$2.15. No, but yeah, she really used that to propel herself forward and remake her career, which was really cool.
First time I remember seeing Felicia Day was The Guild, And
Felicia Day, is she the chick that was in Supernatural too?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Supernatural for a
She
little
was
bit.
in Supernatural. She was in Eureka. But all of these things
Dr.
were
Horrible, Singer on Blog.
after. Yeah, Dr. Horrible. All of these things were after the Guild. And before that
Stretching
was...
boys.
So we're reading Dustin over here on the
Yeah.
side. I'm only 3 hours away. Start stretching, boys.
No, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
you got us married men distracted thinking about head now. Damn it! Come on. All right.
Yeah, it'll be the first time in a long time. No. So the oh, and also we wanted to mention that unfortunately today we all heard that Michelle Trachtenberg, I think her last name was, that she passed away.
I felt bad because when I saw it online, the girl from Buffy and Euro Trip, and I can't remember what all she was in.
Well, she's doing lots of stuff.
Yeah, and I saw it. And of course, Buffy's one of those rare shows, and I think you feel it even more than I do because I watch Buffy too. But as soon as I said it, my wife's like, "Oh, you mean Michelle?" and blah blah blah, and she knew right away. Your wife's a huge Buffy fan. That's one of those geek things that
she is a huge
Supernatural
Buffy fan.
hits that line.
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, she is definitely a huge Buffy fan, and I did a little dig and read a couple articles, and apparently, Michelle was recently had I believe a liver transplant.
Holy I didn't know cow, that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, and they believe that she succumbed to complications from the transplant. I believe it was a transplant, but she had liver issues, and they believe that she succumbed to that. That's the reason that they're saying that they know malfeasance is attributed, and they believe she died of natural causes.
See, I like to hear that because I only had a chance to watch one article earlier, and in it they didn't tell a cause of death or anything, and they kept mentioning like people talked to her a week ago and she was in good health and happy about life, and really half the article was don't think she committed suicide. That was it, and it almost felt a little bit like, oh God.
Yeah, I think I got mine.
Talking about her doing suicide. I don't know. That seemed weird.
I got mine from an ABC News article, so I wasn't just going on to Vogue or some E Entertainment or some shit like that. I went for a somewhat reputable news source, and since it wasn't politics, I didn't have to start weeding through shit.
Yeah, politics. I got to look at 10 different news sources.
Yeah.
Well, see, it sucks because if in fact this Buffy reboot they're doing, or it's a continuation or whatever they were looking at.
Yeah.
That now she won't have a chance to be part of that. But last I heard it was a continuation because half the original
From
cast.
What I heard, it was a continuation. Michelle Gellar, that's her name, right?
Yeah, it was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar. From what I understand, she was going to be the trainer for the new Slayer.
That's kind of what I was hearing too. And I figured they'd be bringing a lot of people from the old show back because really, with the exception of about 2 or 3 of them, it's not like any of them are doing so much that the show couldn't afford to bring them back.
Right.
And that's not no bash on any of them, but a lot of them are still just doing kind of the same work they were doing when Buffy was on.
Well, that is, I say Gellar had a couple. I mean, she did the Scooby-Doo movies.
Right.
I mean,
well,
but
Gellar would probably be toward the top. And what's her name from Bandcamp?
Oh, yeah. Allison Hannigan?
Alice Hannigan, yeah.
Yeah, she did
what about
How I Met Your Mother?
I mean, he'd be on the top of that list.
He'd be toward the top, I'd say, but he's still just doing TV work, and I don't know that he's doing anything right now. I don't know that half those people that were in, like Spike, the guy that plays Spike, I think he mostly makes his living just doing conventions and stuff.
Could very well be. I mean, I know he had a band for a while with Giles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now Giles, holy shit, man!
Come on, he was in
Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I never saw it.
Oh god, so good. I have a hard time watching it. Ashley and I used to watch it all the time together. And matter of fact, every time I'd go to a convention that somebody from Repo was there, I would go talk to him, do a little interview, get an autograph for it, bring it back. And so it's been hard once she passed to watch it. But man, just the music in that, it's got that 80s rock opera kind of thing to it.
Cool.
And it is
it was definitely a good rock. I mean, a lot of people say it was kind of like a spiritual successor to Rocky Horror without the campiness.
I was going to mention that because actually, when that came out years ago, we were dealing with I can't remember what production company trying to get the movie rights to show Repo at the Orpheum.
That'd be cool.
It was terribly expensive, and the only way they would do it at the time, because it was still an underground, kind of an underground movie, and even though it was released theatrically, it was mostly getting stuff from like movie festivals. So if you wanted that movie, you had to make arrangements that, like, I can't remember, 3 or 4 people off of the production cast all came with the movie, and they do a Q&A and all this shit, which would have been great,
Really
but
cool.
boy, it adds that price tag.
Well,
up
see,
and
and
up
that's
and
the
up and up and
problem
up.
is doing stuff like that and adding writers to it like that, it basically takes it out of a lot of places and a lot of people's budget.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get shown and it doesn't build the cult following that they wanted it to have.
Well, it costs so much to try to do that. It's like I was working with Richard when he had Sam Jones come in and do ICT Comic Con,
Yeah.
and we did a viewing of Flash Gordon. And of course, I was on board with anything. It's like, oh, I get to watch Flash Gordon with Sam Jones. Done. I don't care what it costs Rich. But so he did it, and even with that place being pretty packed, that theater and everything, he had to rent the theater from Century 2. He had to get the movie rights, which was huge, and even that Sam had to jump in and help with, try to make that happen. And by the time the whole thing was done and all the tickets were sold, he still lost money on doing that viewing of the movie. And that's with advertising at the con all day that you get to watch Flash Gordon with Sam Jones. There was just no way to make the money work. You're doing it for the sake of doing it. So that makes me nervous. I've done a couple like that where you watch like Night of the Living Dead. That's easy because
there's no copyright on it.
Yeah, I can just pop that up and we can Rocky Horror or Mystery Science Theater that shit and go to town. But yeah, it starts getting really expensive when you're trying to,
Oh, speaking of that, I found your copy of Pirates downstairs in the basement, the VHS.
Oh, Roman Polanski's Pirates?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I forgot I lent that to you.
Yeah, I've got it. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it, but yeah, I'll watch it digitally. Anymore, if it's a VHS copy,
good luck finding a VHS player.
Well, I've got them because I do keep, like, because I'm a collector and I collect stupid shit. But like I've got 1985 copy of Ghostbusters and the 84 version of a heavy metal movie and all that shit on VHS just because I put it on a shelf with all the other fucking collectible stuff. Never watch it. I'll watch it digitally or streaming or.
I've got a copy of the musical score of the 1977 Star Wars on 8-track.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I've got Strange Brew.
Yes.
On 8-track. The
Hoser.
Yeah, the fucking soundtrack to Strange Brew on 8-track.
Wow.
So yeah, I was like, I think I found it at a garage sale or something stupid. Like I didn't know it existed.
I'm depressed. I used to have on vinyl. I got it for 50 cents. I had the soundtrack to the Robin Williams movie Popeye.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had it on vinyl.
The first at this point,
I am what I am.
We're just talking whatever shit, but the first time I ever watched one of those like Storage Wars, kind of like back when that shit first came out, it's like, oh, you can just buy these old storage units and they're making TV shows out of them. The very first one I watched, a guy had bought a storage unit, and in there were the original shoes of Olive Oyl shoes from that movie in the storage unit. Certificate of authenticity, the whole deal, pictures, all that shit.
And the thing is that people just don't believe it when the people who've been on the show afterwards come out and say, "Oh yeah, we stocked those facilities with all kinds of stuff."
They do. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones that they had a short series. I think it only ran one season. I can't remember the name of it, but for any geek, nerdy person out there, it's a great series. What it was is they would go try to hunt down old props and shit, movie props. And it was kind of like the Storage Wars thing, because this is a perfect example. Is one of the sculptors that worked on like James and the Giant Peach and Nightmare Before Christmas and everything.
Yeah.
Half of those clay models that she had sculpted, they just went into cardboard boxes.
Oh yeah.
And they were at her house in a shed, just outside. It wasn't like the studio owned them or nothing. And like she had one box that was just nothing but Jack Skellington heads and expressions.
Oh yeah.
And half this shit, the shed had started leaking, so half of it just got ruined with water.
Mm.
And so they come in, and she's like, well, if you think this stuff's worth something, and they come in, of course, they start selling the individual heads for so much. And it was tens of thousands of dollars worth of shit just in cardboard boxes.
The one I hate, the show that I absolutely, and the frickin' algorithms keep trying to feed me bits of it, and is Pawn Stars.
Oh my God!
I may have mentioned this last week.
Fucked off.
Because last week I did one of my marathons where I watched Pawn Stars and bitched the entire time. Because more than half of their comic book shit is just bullshit. Or you can tell they just looked it up real quick and they're almost reading it off a cue card. You're like, oh yeah, sure, that's the first appearance of so-and-so, but can you tell why that, or talk about it all? Nope, you just look up first appearance and act like you know all about the comic now.
It's like, the one that just pissed me off is this guy came in and and deep inside I'm like, there's no fucking way this guy sold this. All right. This guy comes in and he comes in with a Hot Wheel. Apparently it is the unicorn of Hot Wheels. Only a couple of them were made. They were never sent out. And he's got, I want $150,000 for it. All right. I'm like, if you are actually thinking that you're going to get $150,000 for this, and they were all like, oh, that's so nice. If you're thinking that you're going to get this, there's no way in hell that you're fucking pawning it.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, I see it with comics all the time.
Christie's or Sotheby's. All right.
Yeah. Well, and Doc Phineas, that used to be on the show, and worked with him so many times, and so we've talked about it, and there are a number of those people that it's like for example, Doc would be on the show and they'd go, we need some people. And it's like, hey, my buddy John's in town and he happens to have a bunch of comics with him. We'll just have him come in full well knowing that I don't plan on selling any of them.
Right.
They just pay X amount of money. You come in, you talk like you're going to sell it. You pretend to negotiate, can't come to a deal, and you leave. Mm-hmm. So half that real rare collector item shit, they had no intention of ever selling it anyway. They just wanted it on the show. One of my watched last week that pissed me off the moment it came on, guy had original Christopher Reeve Superman outfit in there from the movie. And he's like, this is the original one. It's the only one left that they used in the movie. I'm like, that's bullshit right there. Yeah. And Christy's like, what? And I go, the other one's in Hutch, like the main one. The hero suit is in Hutch right now. I can go look at it right now. Mm-hmm. And they go through this whole thing, and everybody's an expert. The guys on Pawn Stars are. The guy has the suit. They bring in their comic expert who knew some stuff, but like he actually knew when that particular suit sold, he had no idea that there were two other main suits out there. Mm-hmm. The whole time I'm just correcting everything they say because it's, to me and most people in cons, common knowledge shit. Yeah. And but they're all talking as if it's fact, laying it out there. And the end of the episode, no corrections, no nothing, no like, hey, half the stuff we said was bullshit. They just rattled bullshit, and it goes out there to people that watch it, and they go, no, I know, I saw it on Pawn Stars. It's fact. That drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's, and that's the reason that stuff is considered entertainment. Matter of fact, I recently had somebody yesterday unfriend me on Facebook. That's how I keep down my Facebook, friend group. I don't let people go. I just do shit until they unfriend me. That way I have fun while it happens. All right.
Oh, that's so Daryl.
That's called just getting old, dude. I don't even watch. I just go, oh, I lost some friends.
That sounds like Dad getting a telemarketer call. Oh, are you busy?
No,
Let me fuck up the rest of your day.
He had posted up something about, how, this information, came, several years ago on, CNN and ABC was wrong and da-da-da-da. And of course I had to troll in there with like, it's a good thing that Fox Network is so untrustworthy. It's not even considered news. It's considered an entertainment channel.
Yeah.
All right. And he was like, oh, I was like, oh, how am I negative just for pointing out good quality entertainment? And the next thing I know, I'm no longer friends with him. Son of a bitch.
It's talking anything political. I even sat down. I had lunch with my uncle yesterday, and we're talking about everything, and talking about work and stuff. And sometimes politics affect your work. Yeah, man, it's like I hate to even bring it up, but man, this has caused this, and this, and And we had to get to that point real quick where it's like, yeah, we can't talk. And I think politically, him and I are even on the same page. We still couldn't talk politics at all because it's so fucking toxic. And
And
here in the
polarizing.
Midwest, I know at least,
Yeah.
because we were sitting in Arby's doing this. Anytime you bring anything up, you got to kind of go back and forth and look and make sure nobody's looking. Not like I'm about to tell a racist joke, but like, hey, I'm about to even bring up the president's name or
Hey,
anything
Sean.
like that, and people get fucking bitter
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
So I avoid it. I avoid it on social media. I avoid it. Hell, we've talked even writing wise for the shows. Like, oh, we put in a great joke here that would be mid range, but you don't want to do anything because just the mention of something, even if they don't get mad at you, audience members might get mad at each other and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So no bringing it up. Hi, my wife walked in.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
I need the car keys to go pick up Christina.
Okay, I think they.
Billy's still here? Just ask him to go do it.
Oh,
He didn't.
Oh, you should have brought Billy in. Here, you talk to Ash. I'll be right back.
Hi, Ash.
Hi. How you doing? Oh,
How you
quiet
doing?
one on the couch. Gonna rename you Silent Bob.
No, man, I just like to sit here and listen to you guys and just chime in every now and then. It makes me seem important.
You like to stir the pot.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
No,
My
we
life is
had
a bucket
a
of
good
shit,
time
I'm
this
gonna stick
weekend.
experience it.
We had a good
What?
time this weekend doing your the second installment of your game.
Man, I enjoyed it, and I think just a few more times, and we ought to be able to get. I ought to be able to get things. There's a few things with some of the dice rolls that I'm just not. Like we were doing with the darts, the poison darts things.
Right.
The Constitution check. I mean, I'm doing it right in my mind. I mean, all I can do is try and keep trying it until something works, and I think we might have a system figured out.
I think
on
we're
that.
coming on to some good ideas there. I think, everybody was able to chime in with, some different, possibilities of how, how the roles could happen. And that's one of the reasons that I want to sit down and get everything actually written out, because I think that once we have an actual, guideline, written out, this is how stuff occurs. We can sit back and look at it and go, okay, I don't like that. I want it to go this way. And then we can just move stuff around.
I want to keep it really simple. That's why I didn't give a lot of stats. You just got like 5 stats, but I almost think I should have strength in there somewhere. I don't know.
And that's the thing is that keeping it simple is great, but you can't go so simple that you're basically just telling the people to play it, or who want to play it, make the shit up. Because at that point,
then it's all going to matter.
Another game.
Yeah, then it's all going to be on your storyteller, your game master. If you got a good one, you're okay. You got a shitty one, you're so fucked.
You want riffs? That's how you get riffs.
Yeah. Funny. That was funny. I got it.
Bad. All right. Sorry.
Nobody knows what we're talking about right now, but me and you.
Well, you guys, so I assume you guys are talking about the game last week.
Yeah.
I was just in there talking to Billy, and I said, you should come in and talk. And he goes, I can come in and tell you all how to grow some pot or something if you want. And I said, no, let's not. And I get in here, and Dustin just put up, he who stirs the pot.
I'm gonna go get Christina, and then I'll give you a ride when you're done. Because Billy's gonna.
Okay.
So I don't know what you guys talked about on the game already, but this is the same game we test played a couple weeks ago. I was going to ask you, there's no name for this game. You're not calling it like 1748 or something.
Adventures on Turtle Island.
Yep.
Adventures on Turtle Island. It's the whole game, or that's the campaign we're doing?
That's the game right now.
The whole game, okay.
But see, it's at the right time period, and it's generic enough. It could open up to scenarios that are going on all around the world.
Right.
Like the Pirates in the Caribbean, the French Revolution, shit going on in Russia,
No,
shit
not
going
French
on
Revolution.
in Alaska.
And I know that
French Revolution's in the 1700s.
Not at the time that we were at. French Revolution came around after the American Revolution.
No, it was before.
I thought it was after.
It was before.
I thought French Revolution was before American.
Because it was the newly formed France that helped us. You Google that. You're the Google guy.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
He's
I'm
doing everything
totally
else.
willing to be wrong.
We literally showed up and said,
we just point and yell at Daryl.
We didn't realize it was
fact check
Wednesday
this
till
shit.
20 minutes before the show, but fucking Daryl, you do all the work.
1789.
Oh, okay. So then that was, I could have swore it was right before.
See, and that's what threw me the other day. And one thing I like about this game is we can all sit there and talk history as we're back and forth.
Yeah.
Because somebody even brought up like when's percussion caps, and I thought we had percussion during the American Revolution.
No.
But apparently I learned
Civil
something
War.
that day.
Yeah,
Right.
during the Civil War.
So
even
right
even
now,
Davy
it's like-
Crockett. Did Davy
Uh-huh.
Crockett have caps?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think they had percussion caps going on at the Alamo, I want to say.
Mhm.
I mean, they got percussion cap guns at Silver Dollar City. That's what's so. Yes.
They got
I'm
percussion
not looking at
cap
Silver Dollar
guns
City
at the
from
Ren
Congress.
Fair. What's your point?
What was that?
I said they have percussion cap guns at the Ren Fair. What's your point?
They got steampunk goggles at Ren Fair too.
I know.
Oh God, yeah. If anybody's going to any of these events anymore, including a Comic Con to learn, you don't go to a Ren Fair to learn history. You can go to Rendezvous and learn
And that's
history.
one of the things that gets me is, okay, the SCA, the actual name SCA
Right.
stands for
Society
Society
of
of Creative
Creative
Anachronisms.
Right.
But the SCA is the most historically accurate. But anachronisms are things that are not accurate.
Well, and it's not all, even all SCA stuff's not entirely accurate. I mean, we've watched SCA progress over the years. Hell, back when we had Freebooters and Flatlands, and
Yep.
because I was an SCA for about a year
Yeah.
and had always wanted to, and they just didn't offer the things we wanted, like fencing or like we were big into pirates, and most people don't remember, but 20 years ago at the Ren Fair, you didn't see pirates running around.
Yeah,
Really,
before
until
the-
Pirates of the Caribbean came
Before
out.
the Disney
Yeah,
movies
that
came
really
out.
ruined some shit.
SCA just would not let us be pirates and would not let us fence. We had to drive to Oklahoma to fence, and there's all these rules, and we couldn't come up with our own names that weren't
Period.
periodish in
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So we went and did our own thing, but then within a year, SCA was trying to get us to join and merge with them, and I've watched that SCA do that with other things, because now we have all the fencing we want here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now it's no big deal, nor does it even have to be as historically accurate as even the shit we were doing 20
Right.
years ago. So yeah, with SCA, I give them a lot of credit on that stuff, but I feel like they used to be a lot more asinine, at least
they
in the
used to be.
Midwest, than they are now. Now I feel they're a lot more open armsy with.
Oh, they used to be so bad about it back in the day that, you couldn't have buttons.
Yeah.
Because buttons were not period, much less a zipper. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. You got a zipper. You might as well just frickin' leave.
I remember the days, and I've people come up to me all the time. I'm starting a new performing group. I'm going to start vending. Do you have any advice? And it's like, advice now compared to advice 15, 20 years ago, entirely different.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we started, I remember doing so many contracts where it would say, okay, the year of our festival is 1587 in France. So all your costumes have to be around the 1587 and around the French. And now that shit don't fly at Ren Fair. I'm showing up with whatever gear I got and we go.
Yeah.
We do a Star Wars pirate show. So many festivals can't do the Star Wars one because that has modern references. It's like, so do the rest of our shows, but you don't tell them that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we couldn't, there for a long time. We couldn't even, there were shows that wouldn't even let us do Peter Pan sometimes. And normally I'd just go, well, then we won't go do that show.
Yeah.
Castle Muskogee was real bad about that for a while because we had to crash stages when we went to perform the non-period shows that we wanted to perform.
Which
And those are the ones that got the greatest draw.
Huh? Yeah.
And those
Yeah,
are the
they're the ones that people wanted to see.
Yeah.
You know,
The songs we were singing stuff, but now you go to Ren Fair, you go watch Musical Blades, half their songs are, a modern twist on them. We went through this period probably about 10 years ago where ASCAP and everything came through, and they tried cutting all the modern, any kind of song that had any kind of copyright in it out, and they did. I don't know if you remember that. KC went through a big,
No.
oh yeah, it's before Crazy Boy Coy. I'm wearing Coy's hat. It was before Coy started performing there, because I remember the year we got him performing there. They came up to us because they used to have a cover group that came in and took modern songs and made them Renaissance songs.
Yeah.
And that group, that was their last year there. They just couldn't perform anymore because otherwise they would have to pay royalties on all these songs. But Ren Fair had this period. There was about a 5-year period in there where it went from, it was historically accurate with a lot of debauchery to where it's just like I say, nobody gets up and goes, I'm going to go get educated at Ren Fair today. They go, we're going to go have a good time. and you might find something educational while you're there.
Well, see, the way I've seen it, they've gone from historically accurate, educational, through with a little bit of debauchery, to realizing the debauchery really brought people in. Then they went hard on the debauchery for a while. And then now the way everything is now, it's just basically, a way to sit on hay bales while you shop.
Well, in a lot of ways, I'd say you have the different elements. You have some fairs where it is just a shopping fair.
Yeah.
And then you have others where it's really more for the performers than it is for the patrons.
Yeah.
Like I will say, and as much as I love the show, Ren Fair After Dark was very much that way. Patrons loved it, but that was just a debaucherish. I mean, any modern rep, it was almost like, hey, we're just doing a fucking festival about debauchery, and we're all going to dress in Ren Fair gear while we're there.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how that was. Yeah, I don't know. I've watched all those festivals change so much over the years. If you look, Ren Fair started off like the California Pleasure Festival. That was a little more debaucherous, got more educational.
Well, it was California in the 60s. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I had no idea when I met Christy. I come in to this family, and her family always like, oh, you do Ren Fairs and stuff. That's weird. And after about 10 or 15 years of being with the family, her aunt comes up and gives me a stack of books. And they were all from the first couple years of the California Pleasure Festival, because she used to do that shit back when it was like hippie central. Nobody in the family knew, no nothing. Just, it was like our little secret. And it was so cool looking through all these old pictures, all these old books. And it was just like a hippie festival. I mean, it was just...
Yeah, it was.
But her depiction of what was going on back then is very, very different than the shit we do now. I mean, there's still wild stories both ways, but they were pioneering all that. Like now you have all these rules and this whole culture behind it. They were making that shit happen back then. Like
back
trying to figure
it out. It was more just a way for hippies to come together in like a commune kind of thing and reenact some, some stuff that they saw, the latest Robin Hood movie or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Watch. I don't know if you remember Janelle.
Yeah.
That used to. Okay. Her husband. Huh?
Janelle Hildeglass.
Yeah. I believe that's her last name. I can't remember.
She lives up north.
Yeah. Her and her husband went and did that with a number of Ren Fair people. They said, we're just going to do our own commune kind of thing. And this, everybody always goes, I could live at Ren Fair. They went and did that shit for a while. Bought a whole bunch of land. Everybody had their own sections, and they lived as a community.
I've always said it. She, from the time that I saw her post that she was canning meat, I was like, you are on my zombie apocalypse team.
Yeah.
Because you know how to fucking survive.
I need to reach out to her. We used to chat all the time. I just haven't. Well, pandemic kind of slowed a lot of that shit down.
Last time I saw her was when she came down to visit, and we all ate at the restaurant out on the east side of town.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw her in person. But yeah, she's up in like Minnesota area now.
Mm-hmm. She's up in Burfuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burfuck is cold. Yeah, she's up in Burfuck.
Nice things when we used to do like Nebraska and shit. It was like a nice halfway point to where we'd see a lot more of those Minnesota folk and stuff. And now you just don't as much. Some of them will come down to Iowa, but not near as much.
I'm trying to think. Anything cool? Are you planning on going to the? You're going to be going to the Kansas Con here next month, or the next couple weeks.
I'll be at Kansas Con. Even if I just had to go as a patron, I would be there because it looks good.
I need to check in with Sean because Sean has, who's on right now. Sean has set up for the Trekkies to come in and get a booth. And have a table. So I need to get with him and see what I need to do to get on the list or get a lanyard or whatever the hell I need to do.
I got Ghostbusters are going to be there, and we're doing a bunch of giveaways. I got a print up here, I guess I could show you, but I'm going to do a couple 3D prints for giveaways, like big ones. And
I wonder if I should do that.
Are you already doing your 8 million cards?
Not 8 million, only about 500. But yeah, I'm already doing those little cards, but I'm not doing any big giveaways.
See, Dustin says, tell Kansas hi for me. Get their autograph. yeah, in all serious, Dustin, you ought to come down. This looks like a good con. The best way for me to say is probably it's going to be the biggest con we get in this area for a while, unless they're just going to dump a lot of money in, because they're throwing a lot more guests than this area can supply.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'd say hopefully it creates a new trend, but that means we got to hire more guests at our cons. But
not necessarily. I mean, this is going to be one that pulls in. This is going to be pulling in people from Kansas City, from Oklahoma City, from Tulsa, and stuff like that to see some of these guests. If you're not relying, if you're not having to rely on getting those people in from that far away, then your con should be doing fine.
Oh yeah, I think most of the cons around here ours will get hit the least, if anybody. But it's just I think the biggest problem they're going to have is that comparison, because they're doing it at Century 2, where AirCap and ICT have been forever, and so AirCap and ICT always get compared to each other constantly. So imagine you go in and spend $40 for the weekend, you go see all this cool shit at Kansas Con, and then you go back in a few months to ICT, and they got 3 main guests compared to the 28 main guests they got coming in now. The general public doesn't know the difference, even if it's a different name and a different date. They just know, oh, it's that Comic Con they have at Century 2.
I agree with you, but also keep in mind that, whereas I'm pretty sure that it's going to be packed to see some of these people. It's going to be packed to see some of the to get in to see some of these big names at the Kansas Con. You don't have as great a lines at Air Capital and stuff like that.
Tell them you need a web address.
Dustin, send me the link to your new cosplay website. We'll send that out. And fuck, if you're wanting to do cosplay guest stuff, I get asked all the time by cons looking for cosplay guests, and I usually throw your name out if there's a Harry Potter thing or something coming up. But yeah, definitely send me that. We'll pimp it out, and I'll send it to folks here.
Oh, speaking of cosplay,
cool to see you down this way again.
I had purchased a Star Trek outfit to wear, so I can have my own little uniform. But it's from Star Trek Enterprise.
That was going to be my next question.
So it's the overall, and the thing is that of course it's coming from China, and so I ordered the largest size that they have, and I barely fit into it, and that was before I broke my leg and gained 15 pounds back. And so now I am once again on the diet. What?
When did you break your leg?
October.
Did I miss you breaking your leg? Or am I just...
Yeah, you're totally not paying attention. I told you I broke my leg, and that's the whole reason I haven't done anything in the winery all winter long. It's because for 2 months I was on crutches and the whole thing.
Yeah,
I remember he was gimped up, but I remember you were
gimped up. I didn't know you were broke.
Yeah. Yes. I did a stress fracture of my tibia.
Oh,
how in the fuck did you do that?
Because I was a fat man exercising who hadn't exercised in quite a while, and apparently my tibia was not ready for 250 pounds of jogging asshole to come down on it.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Sometimes I'm afraid to run up the steps or down the steps because I might not stop. Fuck.
Yeah, so
not sometimes, all the fucking time, really.
But yeah, so I had gotten all the way down to 240, but now I'm back up to 250 plus, and so I'm clawing it back down again. I haven't had a soda in over half a week, and I don't know if I want to live.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm coming to meet you in the middle. Because, winter put about an extra 10 on me, and the end of winter, these last few weeks, I gained 5 in like the last 2 weeks.
So, I gained, in the last month and a half, I've gained probably 15 or 20 pounds.
It's the weather.
And eating with Billy. It's living at Billy's. That's what it is. That little motherfucker cooks as good as I do. That's what it is.
I wouldn't know. They send me pictures, but never samples.
And it's the weather. I've noticed that when the cold hits, I go into hibernation mode and I just start grazing.
I do too. Now that's bad to call us bears because that's a whole nother misunderstanding with me.
It could be good, man. I mean, if that's the way
if you want to make that $20 from Dustin, that's how you do it.
Fuck, I don't know. Maybe I should start pimping my ass out.
I think it's a little late for us, man.
I mean,
I realize there's a category for everything on Pornhub, but I don't want to be in that category.
OnlyFans. You only have to show us from the knees down, right? Isn't that how it works? Right. So I was going to say we did, in all sincerity, I know I got, as soon as we logged in, I'd found out, I thought today was Tuesday. So I had a whole bunch of shit that was going to line up, especially with DC has made, like James Gunn made a whole bunch of fucking announcements this week. I'll hit them next week, because otherwise I would have been sitting here telling you guys pretty much what the thumbnails on YouTube say. I didn't have time to do the research that would have warranted it. But because I was planning on doing it yesterday. Not that we couldn't spend 45 minutes talking about bullshit as we want. But we did have a couple things we wanted to hit. I know we wanted to talk about Chickadee passing away. And,
Michelle
have
Trachtenberg.
either of you guys watched the series on Max? It's a Taika Waititi series called
Crapopolis?
No.
No, the one with the pirates.
No, this is called Our Flag Means Death.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
The pirate one. Yeah.
It's absolutely a train wreck, but I can't stop watching the motherfucker.
Taika Waititi's a lot like that.
The
I
one
love him.
that I want to watch, but it is not available in the U.S. I forget the name for it. But there's this one. It's I think it's out of New Zealand, not Australia, but New Zealand. And hey, Kristen, this one out of New Zealand, and it is basically like Reno 999. Reno 99 is that it?
Oh,
Reno 911.
Reno 911. It's kind of like that,
but there's cryptids and shit.
But they're trying to police up. They're like the street version, not street. Excuse me, like the plainclothes, not the plainclothes, but like the uniform cop version of what is it? Men in Black. So basically, they're going around. Oh yeah, this person over here, but they're talking to the camera like it's Reno 911 and stuff like that.
I don't know if I've seen this. Who's in this one?
No, it's just it's just a regional production. It's not a big thing. And it's because of licensing, it's not available in the US.
No, I think you can get it on YouTube because I've watched it. So check it out on YouTube.
Well, where does it come from? Is it maybe on BritBox? It's not from England, is it? Paranormal, Wellington Paranormal.
That might be it.
Krista may have seen it.
Yep.
It's on Max, she says. Something, I hadn't seen that one.
Wellington Paranormal. Yep.
Yep, that's it.
I thought you were going to mention Crapopolis because we mentioned it a little bit at the game the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I've been binging that all week. That and cryptid stuff for some reason, but
I wonder why.
You should really look at Wellington Paranormal because it is. I mean, with the whole cryptid thing and all this stuff like that, it's right up your alley.
I've watched it. Yeah, I'm interested in it.
Yeah. But for the longest time, I don't know if it still is, but for the longest time, it was like Letterkenny, where you could only get it in the U.S. if you found an avenue to get it illegally.
Well, see, and Letterkenny is one of those like the first few seasons. Loved them, even though you got to kind of know what you're getting into with Letterkenny.
Oh yeah,
but we had that like Children of Proteus were around and all that, so we were able to just. You had your little clicks of you could do your quotes.
What am I missing here on Letterkenny? I don't know what the fuck that is.
You don't know what Letterkenny is?
No. What the fuck is it?
Fuck, it's too late now. It's too late that
have I just missed out on it?
Yeah, you missed out. You missed the whole push. You can watch it in hindsight now, but
Letterkenny started off with just this one little short thing where it had these two guys out throwing ball, and the two the hockey guys come up with their sisters. All right,
Canadian guys. Picture Canadians,
right? And then they just get in this insulting match back and forth, and from that,
no, I've seen that on YouTube. I think,
yeah. From that, it blended into an entire show.
Yeah, and they do little things like one of them might just go, and everybody starts going extraordinary or something, just like little.
Or
there's some Amish people that come up and talk to him and shit.
To be fair.
Mikey Mason did a great song of all the catchphrases from Letterkenny.
Oh, it's such a great show.
It's a good song. Matter of fact,
you've got to watch. I mean, in the middle, it got kind of, and now, it's Letterkenny. I think it's over with, and now they're mostly
they had the Shoresy show and then another show.
Yeah. The Shoresy show.
Shoresy was a throwaway character in the show that you never saw his face. And, but there's a lot of catchphrases, and a lot of it's just a bunch of guys sitting around, and like they'll come up with the subject, and just hearing them talk shit to each other for 5 minutes about that subject, and then there'll be a brief show of like somebody, usually a girl on the show, doing a slow motion walk to rock music. Like you could tell the director of the show really wanted to direct
Bonnie
music
videos.
McMurray. And I will guarantee you see some of these actors in other fucking shows before too. But
have you seen the Strange New Worlds, the new Star Trek Strange New Worlds?
Yeah. Not a lot of it, but yeah.
It took me a while because I was like, where do I know her from? But Pike's love interest, the other captain, that is Mrs. McMurray.
Right. Pike's love interest is on Van Helsing.
I was just going to say that's where I knew her from. She's the main character on Van Helsing.
You guys know Pike he was the cop or the cowboy cop in Hell on Wheels.
Oh,
yeah. He was a lot skinnier then. But
I didn't watch a lot of Hell on Wheels.
Oh man, that show is so fucking good.
I was watching it kind of vicariously with my buddy Jeremiah for a little while. We're both watching it, kind of the steampunk element and stuff. And it came on and thrived right about the time here locally steampunk took a dive. And it just ended up being like nobody wanted to talk about that shit. Nobody wanted that. And I think everybody just kind of veered away from it.
You know, gentlemen, I just want to point out the fact that it is now almost 8 o'clock. We had nothing to talk about, and we still haven't got to.
We had shit to talk about. We just didn't talk about it.
We still haven't got to the few things we did have to talk about.
Well, I was trying to think of what it was I wanted to talk about, but like I say, I'll save the James Gunn shit for next week. I just was not.
She is really, really active actor.
Yeah.
She was in Winona Earp.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's the way I went with Van Helsing too. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Winona Earp, she's the main character from that.
Yeah, she's Canadian.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Well, hell, it drives me nuts too because one of the hockey players on that show is also on the Disney Descendants show. He's like Captain Hook's son or some bullshit, and it's a musical, and they all come out and they're doing the young teen heartthrob thing, and they dance, and there's all these little movements, and then they come out and sing, and everybody's supposed to look sexy and shit, and it's really hard to just not quote Letterkenny every time he comes on or something. Go get me a puppers, bitch. It's just...
You have really got to start off with season 1 of Letterkenny, dude. I actually think less of you that you haven't.
Oh my God.
I will say, I feel like you about have to say this. When watching Letterkenny, don't go in because everybody will go, "Oh, it's great! You got to watch it." And if you go in just thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a great comedy," don't do that because it'll ruin the show for you. Go in with an open mind of this is going to be a weird thing, like a bunch of buddies got given a camera and said, "You want to make a show?"
Like us playing games.
Yeah, you got to kind of go into it with that aspect.
And you guys are really good at insulting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The insults get a lot better season 2 and 3 even.
Yeah.
But once you start getting, I think season 5, and they start getting into more of the, let's focus on this person being a badass and these people being super sexy and this kind of stuff, instead of the individual awkwardness of each character.
Once they grow into their characters, I mean, and once we grow into the fact that Katie is in a 3-way relationship with the 2 hockey players.
Oh yeah. Hell, that was back in first season, I think, too.
And the one that blew me away is apparently Stewart has a huge horn.
Yep, yeah. That's there for a while. Stewart's one of those that he's made a lot of different progressions over the years. Yeah. Like they changed that character a lot. I don't know if you ever got to see it. Kate from Children of Proteus. She does the black bartender girl
and the Dicks. The Dicks.
The Dicks. Yeah, even if
I've seen that show. I have seen that.
Yeah, even if you just get on watching the Amish people,
right? Yeah. I've seen that. Now, do you still think lower of me, Daryl?
Yes, because you didn't recognize it right away.
Oh my
He
God.
didn't start quoting lines with us. That's the problem.
At
But
no
Kate could
point
be
did
the
you go, I
bartender.
identify with Squirrely Dan.
Kate could do that bartender like nobody's business, and we could be at a con, and she would just go into it, and people from across the room would start going and just come up and talk to her just to talk to her in character. It was hilarious. But haven't seen it in a long time.
Who?
Kate from Children Produce. She would do the black bartender girl,
Oh,
the one that
yeah,
always
yeah.
would sleep with everybody, and she'd be like, "Come here, you sexy bitch," and stuff. And she could nail that character straight on. It was great. But
I'm trying to remember who
should be
that
double dick.
character
There's no going back.
was, because that was at Mort's. No, what was the name of the
The bar. I
The
don't
bar.
think it was Mort's. I don't think, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
She was Gail.
Gail. Yep. Yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Is just do let's get drunk and do a one episode watch party. We'll pick our favorite episode and watch it and critique it with Cookie, who hadn't seen it before.
I'm down.
It'd be like those old movie reviews we used to get drunk and do.
Here, yeah, we never got through Pirates, but
Never.
no, what was it? The thing that surprised me is that Glenn, the gay preacher,
Oh yeah.
he is one of the main writers and creators of that show.
The way I understood it, and I could be very wrong. I know the main guy
Wayne.
on there is, yeah. But I think a number of people on there are all writers for the show.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of like Trailer Park Boys or whatever. Like most of the stars are the people gearing the show, and and the producers and half that shit.
yeah.
So yeah, it does kind of fit in with that, like giving your buddies some cameras and go. But when you watch interviews with him too, he's a hardworking dude. Putting the way I understand, Wade, he puts most of that whole show together.
Oh yeah,
Does that sound right? Yeah.
yeah. The Wayne, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wayne.
he's a hardworking dude, and yeah, he really goes around and pitches it a lot.
Matter of fact, there for a while they drink Pupper's beer in there,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't a real beer, but a brewery started making it, and you could order it and send it down just as a gag gift or a.
Oh, cool.
And
One
we
of
were
my
going to try to get Pupper
coworkers-
to drink it. Huh?
One of my coworkers, he was up helping out with the new acquisition up in Canada, and he was in the town that they film it at. All right, and then he was like, "Oh hell, I'll hang out. I'll go to the bar that they're filming at." And apparently, they were just breaking up from doing something, so all the cast was there, just hanging out, drinking.
Oh, too cool.
And came over and bummed some cigarettes off of him, so he got to hang out with them and get pictures with the cast and all the stuff like that, and hang out and drink with them.
See, and that they seem like the kind of people that wouldn't be like, oh, we're television stars, you can't hang with us. It'd be like, let's hang. I feel the same way with the Trailer Park Boys and shit. I could get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Those dudes in New Zealand that do the PUBG videos and the
Oh, you're talking Viva La Dirt League.
yeah.
I don't know if I know that one.
You probably have seen them.
You have. I guarantee you have. They do all kinds.
I love Viva La Dirt League. They're funny.
See, I kind of felt that way with like the original movie, and then when What We Do in the Shadows first started out too. But then it started we're bringing in bigger names, but it felt like, oh, that'd be a set you'd want to be on.
Yeah,
you feel like half the writing is happening while they're filming.
Oh yeah.
Oh, most
God, I
definitely
would
is.
love to be in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, because all of those actors, the main actors on those shows, are excellent at being able to riff.
Well,
Epic NPC Man. Yep.
Epic NPC Man. Yeah, I watched a video from those guys today. A matter of fact,
Yep.
It wasn't
Thank
even
you,
the regular
Kristen.
stuff. It was damn it, what was it? Fuck, I can't remember because it was hilarious.
They've done so many.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they were able to tap into, because as we've often said, the video game industry is bigger than the movie industry and the record and the music industry combined. But they are very few, comedy troupes like Viva the Dirt League that are taking advantage of that and tapping into the ridiculousness of that cultural zeitgeist going on.
They tap into just nerddom.
Yes.
Role playing game stuff, video game stuff. There was a series they did where they were all working at like a Best Buy or something.
That is intersped with it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Well, and they're smart enough to know like we're not just a Minecraft channel or something.
Yeah.
Like whatever's popular. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. They had tons of videos on that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, I know the video. I saw them today. It was their parody game, Skycraft or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah. So it was a pitch for they just made a new trailer for Skycraft and put it out, and everybody loved the trailer. And the
Then it turns
production
out
team's
they
like,
spent
we
all
haven't
the money
done.
on the trailer.
Yeah, they're like, we spent a third of the entire budget for the game on the trailer to look good, and the production guy's like, none of that shit's in the game. We didn't make any of that. It'll be great though. People love it. It's like, but that's not what we're working on. You know, and
Yeah,
it's
but
that
then they went
making
into
fun
the
of how
meat of
they
it,
put
and
out
they were like,
trailers before they put out games.
yeah, but we will sell the pre-orders, and people will
Yes.
buy that. All right, and we'll make all the money off of that. Which there's, that happened with what is it? Kerbal Space Program 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a copy of Kerbal Space Program 2, and they released it into, it wasn't even beta, it was alpha. The ships wouldn't even frickin' fly. All right, and that's the whole game, is making rocket ships, and it just didn't. And then the entire company, after it had been released for a couple months, the entire company folded, and then it got sold off. And now there is, it's completely gone. It's somebody's intellectual property of a group now. And the people who made it have now gone, and they're making their own next one. The people that weren't able to do what they wanted to, they're now making one that is called Kitten Space Program. So it's still a KSP. And they are, there's some really interesting stuff coming out of it. So I can't wait to see if they actually drop it.
I was talking about the video game industry being so. I think I mentioned this last week, where in 2002 somebody had done a prediction of what 2025 was going to be like.
Yeah.
So it's on YouTube making the rounds and shit and social media, but it's one of the big predictions, and there's most of them were pretty accurate, some of them not. One of the big ones that apparently got ridiculed back in 2002 was the video game industry. Like, we'll be making movies, books. It will be the largest pop culture thing, overshadowing, games and movies and television shows and stuff. And people were like, no, that won't happen. Video game movies never make money, blah, 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 all this shit. People were bashing it left and right. And it's like, no, video games, I don't know the general public know it, but they make Hollywood look like shit now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what's even worse is, is it's still going on, but what they do is, all these young idealistic kids come out of school with their degrees on programming and stuff like that. They get hoovered up by the video game industry. They work them almost to death. I mean, these kids are,
all their intellectual property.
Yeah, and they're sleeping under their desks. I mean, these kids are just, busting their ass. And as soon as a product is made, they kick all these kids to the curb. They kick all the programmers to the curb, and they take the product and they put it out and they reap in their money. And it's just an industry of taking these young programmers and eating them up and spitting them out.
Yeah, they're taking all their great ideas they came up with as they're going through school, all the storylines they come up with, all the different stuff that they've dreamt about doing their whole life and come out and get to do, and they take it as their intellectual property and then fuck the kids off.
Everybody does that. Back when I was looking at working with Disney and talking with them, that was one of the big things. Hell, when you and I were talking about cooking for Disney, but not even doing the animation stuff, that was one of the big things. Anything you think of while working for them, it's just theirs.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you did it off the clock. Doesn't matter if you have another job working for another company doing that same thing.
Who started all that
comic
shit?
book industry does it.
Thomas motherfucking Edison.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
No.
Animation industry does it terrible. They're having backlash off that now because all the DEI stuff we covered on here a while back, where they were, like you're saying, they're going into colleges and they were pulling as many female animators out of college as they could. So they didn't even have to have degrees because they're trying the DEI to get as many females and people of color and different things into the animation. So you didn't even have to be qualified fully to get those jobs. And then now that like a lot of the DEI is getting pulled, those people are just losing jobs left and right. Yep. So those poor people got pulled out of school, guaranteed jobs, and now they're getting let go without the education they need because they got pulled out of school early. So they got some job experience
Well,
with that. Yeah.
Did you hear what happened to all of the U.S. assets for these Marvel Rivals that all the kids are playing now?
What do you mean the U.S. what?
The Marvel Rival game, right?
Right.
All right, the one that is so Chinese you can't even type into it free Tibet. All right,
I didn't know that, but yeah.
Yeah, it won't let you do stuff like that. But apparently now that it's hit big, they've shut down the U.S. branch of it, kicked
Now, he's
everybody
getting
off to the
about his
side.
leg, but we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, yeah, they fired all their American people last. Yeah, we talked about that last week. That was because they're saying that they're still going to be producing everything as much and all that. It's just pretty much it won't be happening through any American channels.
Yeah. So they're taking American ideas, American stuff, American characters,
intellectual property.
All right, and they're taking it all over to China and chunking it out there instead of doing it here in the U.S.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people playing the game are pissed off thinking they're not going to get all these promises. But, I mean, just the shit they have leaked for Marvel Rivals, we've got everything they've promised us already on the docket for the next year, So
to me, it doesn't matter. I pointed it out to my son. I was like, this is all going on. He's like, yeah, I know. And he goes, but I'm still going to play the game. I'm like, okay, but just be aware who you're supporting.
Yeah, and it's a good game. It's a fun game.
I mean, it could be a great game. I mean, I hear that the Nazis had a great cookbook. I'm not going to fucking use it, okay?
Fair enough. Get behind that one.
I mean, they had killer bratwurst, but they killed other shit too.
Yeah. See, now we're going to talk Nazis. Get back into politics again. So. Although we've been on for an hour, but I could sit here and talk all night just about bullshit.
I know. We could, but we shan't. We shan't not.
We shan't. We got other stuff to do. But next week I'll have everything ready with all the James Gunn announcements. And to be fair, they made so many announcements that I think half this shit's going to get pulled back or changed by next week. Because anytime you make a ton of announcements like that, people come out and start picking it apart.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I don't know how much you guys have paid attention to what DC's been releasing, but ever since the Super Bowl,
go ahead.
Yeah, well, not, but like they did the Puppy Bowl thing at the Super Bowl where they were going to release new Superman footage because they sponsored the Puppy Bowl.
Okay,
so
I didn't know that.
People all ran to the Puppy Bowl thinking we're going to see this new Superman footage. There was like 4 seconds of new Superman footage. Everything else was the same trailer, recut in a different order. And the only thing we really got was Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner doing all these. I'm sure you've seen him, the cocky looks and I'm looking at him like, dude, looks just like Guy Gardner. That's fucking great. But apparently most people looked at it and went, that looks cheesy as fuck. Guy's got a bowl cut. That's stupid. And people are just at it. And it's like Nathan Fillion's playing it up. He's playing a character.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, he looks like a dick. And just because of that little bit, they got raked through the coals. And DC's in such a weird spot that if Superman doesn't do well, everything else they got on the line is going to shit.
I hope Superman they don't pull Nathan from it because Nathan is a great actor.
Yeah, he is. They got to give him a chance. Marvel has pulled him from 2.5 Marvel roles now, and everybody wants to see him. And I'm afraid by the time we get a good Marvel Nathan Fillion character, he'll be 80 or some bullshit. Let us have a good. Even DC hasn't given us anything good. They gave us what's his name? Fucking in the Suicide Squad, he played
Joker. Jared Leto.
No. He played the detachable man or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Polka Dot Man?
No. The guy that he dies right away.
Yeah, he does.
Spoiler. But like basically his arms and stuff can detach. And
yeah.
I feel bad not knowing a comic character's name, but yeah, they played that, and the only reason we got that is because of James Gunn. It's not like Warner Brothers said, "Oh yeah, if we can get James Gunn, let's do that." Shit.
James Gunn's got a lot of pokers in the fire right now.
Too many.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next season of Peacemaker.
Yeah, I think everybody is.
That show is fucking hilarious.
It'll be a little while on it, but Yeah, TDK. Yeah, the detachable kid, or it stands for something. I think it's the detachable kid or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
so.
But yeah,
Fake nerd.
fake nerd. Fucking Dustin, look it up then, damn it. I'll sit here. Oh god, I'm not the guy
Well,
you want to sit
see,
and talk comics
I
with. I shouldn't say.
beyond Firefly, I'm pissed that we never got him as Captain Hammer in
Uh,
Doctor Horrible too.
Dr. Horrible 2. I heard that the only reason Dr. Horrible 2 didn't happen, every time you see an interview, it's they just can't get everybody back together at the same time. Well, for a while, they couldn't get
Yeah,
everybody back together at the same time because everybody was
busy.
so busy. But now we
Now
just
it's
won't
too
see it.
late.
It's too late now. It's gone.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a shame. I mean, that was, and at the time they did it because it was I believe it was a writer's strike.
yeah, I think it was a writer's strike. There was something going down
Yeah,
where everybody was free and had nothing to do, and the way they did it, I think it's because it was released to YouTube or
yeah, it was
something. Or
direct to
there
YouTube,
was
and basically, and this was before. God, what's the director's name? He
uh,
did
uh
he
oh fuck, don't do that.
he
Joss
did
Whedon.
he he
Joss.
did the
Wasn't it?
Avengers.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, Joss. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
this was Joss was in like a weird in between place, and he was just doing it to prove that he could do something, and that's the reason he put it all together and did it. I mean, and
When
you had
I was under the impression it was all written before too, like it was already written and shelved and ready to roll, right?
possibly, yeah.
That's all, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, you had a lot of people that later on went and did good, big stuff in it. Like from the Big Bang Theory. What's
Yeah,
his name in it? Howard.
yeah.
Yeah, he's in there.
He's in Doctor Horrible.
Yeah, he was moist.
No shit. Okay, yeah. I haven't watched Doctor Horrible in years. Again, another thing I used to watch with my daughter regularly,
Yeah,
and it's hard to go back and watch. But that soundtrack and everything was so
she
good.
would
And
want you to watch these things. You should do that like
she
that.
would.
Yeah.
She would. I know. Yeah, it's just one of those things of it's hard to go do sometimes. But yeah, Doctor Horrible would be one of those. And it was one of those like when it first came out, Captain Hammer cosplay was so easy
Oh yeah.
that you would see it at conventions all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody was disappointed. Everybody was happy to see. It's not like Deadpool, bless his heart. A lot of times you see Deadpool and you're like, I don't want to walk down that aisle. That guy's gonna just fucking be loud the whole time and try to be funny or something. But
That's
a Doctor or Captain Hammer, you go talk to Captain Hammer.
that's the reason I loved it. I think it was at Air Capital Comic Con when the guy was walking around as the Deep and he had the squid on his crotch.
Ha!
I missed this one.
Yeah, it was great. Everywhere he walked, people were just like, "Oh!" I mean, it didn't even have to have
I got a
interaction. It
picture
was
of it.
just the Deep with an octopus on as a codpiece.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It feels like I don't know.
Someone was detected at your Wichita drop.
That those really cool cosplays like that. I'm only seeing them at the bigger cons anymore. Like the smaller ones, I'm just not. It used to be you'd see them all the time. You'd get those like there was a fad for a while where people would play Batman's parents. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I think people got intimidated
Yeah, maybe.
because it used to be you dress up because you wanted to enjoy the fandom.
You can enjoy it without getting ridiculed by cosplayers.
Right, and that was the thing is then people it just became such a big thing, and people were trying to make it a career that it just got weird, and people just stepped away from it.
I ran into that not just with conventions, but like mostly with some cosplayers because people don't, and I will fight and argue this with fucking anybody. Cosplay was not a real word for a long time.
No, it wasn't.
It's a pretty recent word, and I can show you guys where like I would sell cosplay stuff on eBay, and eBay would send me these letters all the time. Cosplay is not a word; it's not a category on eBay. We do not use it, suggesting you don't use it until they made cosplay categories.
Yeah,
But it just didn't. Now the word has been around for a long time, but it wasn't used a lot, and so we were costumed entertainers.
exactly.
Is what we were. And there's a difference between costume entertainer and cosplay, but when cosplay got big, most people didn't know. So when you would go apply at a fair or something as a costumed entertainer, oh, everybody wanted cosplayers. So then they would just put you with cosplayers, and then there would be this like almost like feud thing. People would start asking you about your costume. Well, I bought this because what, you shouldn't do that, and people are ridiculing. You're like, I'm an entertainer. I spend a lot of time on my show. I'm interacting with the audience. We are different things, but you're lumped into it, and some cosplayers get mixed about it.
Yeah, because they probably got a little butthurt about it because, you know, think about it. They have a certain ideal that they hold themselves to, and then they're being, you know, classed in with, you know, amateurs. And, you know, that kind of, you know, takes a hit to the professional pride.
I could see that, but like when it first started, most of the cosplayers were not the cosplayers you see today.
Oh yeah,
so really, we usually had better costumes than most of the cosplayers did.
Yeah, but you're talking about them lumping together costumed entertainers and cosplayers. Right. I'm saying that's where, you know, the friction occurred.
Right, that's where the friction occurred. Now you don't have that problem so much.
No,
but back in the day, it definitely did. Where then people are critiquing everything and. It caused some serious segregation in conventions.
And then, you know, with, you know, such a big thing being made of cosplayers, in my opinion, you know, and shows about cosplay and all this stuff like that, a lot of people don't want to do it because they feel that they're not good enough, that what they're putting together isn't good enough.
The community will do that shit to you, for sure. I mean,
and it's usually the people whose stuff that isn't good enough that bags on the people who have stuff that is good enough, to where the people who have the good stuff don't put it out or don't go do it because they're getting, just like SCA, you know, they're getting their asses chewed by somebody who came there first, and they're just ridiculing them.
It's one of the reasons I pulled back from running a lot of cosplay shows, because like I'll MC cosplay shows all day still. I used to judge a lot of them, like when conventions would have us and they have you on celebrity judge or something, because I made costuming and different things. And but the problem being is, man, people will come up to you, cosplayers, parents, people in the crowd, if you did not choose the way they thought.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is as a judge, you are sitting there, and the festival usually, or whoever is running the cosplay, has come up and given you prerequisites. Very much like the fucking Hawaiian Tropic thing you and I did, if you remember that.
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah, where they're like, hey, we want you guys to be celebrity judges judging this Hawaiian Tropic thing. Winner goes to fucking Hawaii. And Daryl, me, and some other judge took it so serious because they get a vacation. This is going to start somebody's career. And we go through and we meticulously write shit out and all this, and we're very serious about it. We turn all that in, and then the girl we had at like 5th place wins the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, the TV show we were doing had us interviewing all these girls. So we felt friendly with them. Afterwards, they're threatening to cut our dicks off and stuff.
Well, because let people know this Hawaiian Tropic thing. This was at a strip club.
Yeah, what? No, it was at a bar. It was at a bar on 4th Street in Hutchinson, Kansas.
I don't remember a lot of clothes.
It was a bar, but it was a Hawaiian Tropic thing. So there was, and you got to remember, you and I were backstage doing the interviews, so a lot of those girls were just walking around half nude.
Oh yeah,
but
it was. I remember some of my interview questions. You know, I was a schmuck.
But that's the kind of thing that got me, because we did all that work, and then now you're the bad guy for a decision that the producers of the show made.
Yeah.
And that feels like conventions are like that all the time. They're like, oh, we want this person to win. Or they'll just come up and say, that person can't win because they won another local con here recently. So then you're just writing them off. But then they're coming up to you afterwards and going, what did I do wrong? Why didn't I win? My stuff's way better. And then you're having to explain without throwing the convention under the bus and shit.
Oh, no.
That's one of the politics.
I didn't do it anymore, is because I'll throw a convention under the bus. I don't care. And apparently that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's
a good thing I wasn't around, because I'd have fucked it all up for you guys. I'd have been, my question would be like, do you like free candy?
I do believe many times when we were doing shit like this, we did look at each other and went, good thing Cookie's not here. They're giving us free alcohol to do this show? Good thing Cookie's not here. They want us to do interviews at the strip club? Real good thing Cookie. Yeah.
Well, I might have ran into some motherfuckers. Nah, I'm not going to say it.
Well, and in fairness, back in the day, those things were real fun to do. And they still can be, but I look at it now and I'm like,
we're too old for that.
it's a neat thing to say you've done and have lived the experience.
Yeah.
But now if they came up, and still every once in a while we'll get little offers like that where it's come do this strip club or this whatever thing, and it's like, it just doesn't sound good. Or
I mean, I'm turning 54 next week. I don't want to be the pervy old guy up there.
well, and some
You're turning 54 next week?
March 4th, baby.
March, yeah.
I'm older than you are?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
How's that make you feel? Because look at this.
Hey,
And
I'm
he's saying all
I'm
this.
feeling Sprite.
God, no.
Sprite. Yeah. See, nah, I
Damn.
54. That means you're younger than Christy too. Shit.
What, did you think I was older than you?
No, I thought you're the same age as my wife.
No, I thought I was the same age as Tim.
No, but the fucked up thing about it is this is kind of going in reverse. He looks older than me.
Oh yeah.
I look older than you. That's definitely for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And Jamie looks younger than all of us.
No.
How old is Jamie? Isn't he like 74?
He's older than most of us.
Well, see, that's the
He
thing
knows
is,
Moses.
he was living that Puff Daddy life and just using a lot of baby oil. And, there's something to be said for lots of skincare.
That's it. From now on, when people bring that shit up with Jamie, I'm just going to say it's all the baby oil.
I need to ask him from when he used to dance Chippendales if he knows Toy Boy Roy.
Don't look at us like we know who Toy Boy Roy
You got
is.
to, man. He used to come to the bar all the time. He used to come to the old mill. He works at the liquor store here in Newton now.
We have a Chippendales dancer here in town.
Yeah.
If you need a 39-year-old to fill in a strip club night, I might know a guy. Dustin, I'll hook you up, but I'll
tell you right now, don't eat the buffet at the strip club. All right?
Oh, no, I've had some good food at
I
strip
used
club.
to cook a buffet at a strip club, man.
My point is made.
Huh?
Nothing. Don't hit me.
What?
We could sit here and just tell stories for an hour of like some of those strip club stories or those bar stories or the more debaucherous easily. And they're all fun, and I don't regret any of them.
No.
However, with all of those, I could also sit here for an hour and tell you stories of like I remember Kalen doing a joke when we were on Heavy Pork TV, and he's at the strip club and he licks the pole and immediately regretted it. But it's on camera now forever. And even now he's like,
how do you spray Clorox on your tongue?
Now, in fairness, it was after hours, if I remember right. Or no, it's before it opened.
Like chlamydia takes a fucking nap.
It was before opening, and they had cleaned everything. However, that was one of the first ones we did, and I went back and did a number of shows after that. And I've watched them clean shit, and it's a spray bottle full of a clear liquid and a rag, and it's just that's it. It's like it's not real cleaning.
Like the time you got in trouble passing the fake 100.
That was my cousin's bachelor party, Kelly. I had gotten a fake $100 bill from Planet Comic-Con, no less, when I came up there and saw you at Planet.
Oh, is that where that came from? Okay.
So I took it, and then I used that fake $100 bill to buy my cousin a lap dance at his bachelor party. Next thing you know, there's cops all around me. I didn't know it was fake, but
I want to know what apparatus did a stripper have to be able to tell a bill was fake at a lap dance?
I don't know. They looked at it.
Where did you insert it? That's what I want to know.
I think what it is they probably just check every $100 bill they get. But yeah, it sucked because I got arrested in front of my entire family because it was my cousin's bachelor. So I got uncles and cousins and everything. And you're getting arrested. They come up, KBI comes to my house, takes my computer, and I had just scanned a bunch of like money from the 1920s and 1910s for my mom to sell online. So I thought for sure I was going to prison because I had all this money scanned. But they were able to look at it and see that it was actual like antique money.
Yeah.
And I got no trouble, but it was months of like, fucking, am I going to prison for having this fake $100 bill?
No.
But
no.
Yeah. No. I was scared.
It just boggles me that because that stuff happens all the time. And normally they just say, if they can tell the individual is not, laundering money or something like that, they'll just go ahead and say, you're hosed, you have fake money. To the fact that they called in the cops and the KBI and all this stuff like that, there had to be something else going on that triggered something else that that might be have been happening in the area that they were researching that triggered such a grandiose reaction.
Maybe that same scanned bill got used a lot of different places.
Yeah, I got interviewed by KBI like 3 times on that, and then the police and all that shit too. But yeah,
What
and the
is
sad
it
thing was
about you have had so many run-ins? I think that's what happened. You've had so many run-ins with the law now that basically your name goes in, and then it's just one of those.
we've had this talk even lately. It's a lot of long hair and stuff, but I talk about it all the time about you know how many times my car has been searched because like I didn't even really smoke pot at all until I was in my 40s. But before that, the way I look and the fact that I do like Ren Faires for a living and shit, I couldn't even count the amount of times I leave a restaurant I'm working at, get pulled over, I have to get out of the car, they search the whole car, find nothing because they smelled it on me. It's like, dude, I haven't smoked pot. I don't, not in 20 years or whatever. And
You see,
I could sit here another hour of just telling you stories of getting arrested
and
when you
I'm
shouldn't
the
have.
other way around. I look so clean cut. I remember at times way back in the day, it was in the late 90s. I was trying to get some paraphernalia so I could smoke something. I went into a head shop, and the head shop refused to sell me the pipe under the glass because they thought I was a freaking undercover cop.
See, that's the thing that drives me nuts. Like my little brother's kind of guy gets in a lot of trouble, and I would get arrested for something that had nothing to do with me. Like I have been arrested multiple times for something that had nothing to do with me. They just pick me out of a crowd and go, "You," that kind of attitude.
Oh man!
And then my little brother, like he'll do something, get caught red-handed,
Dude,
and they'll be like, "Man, we feel bad for you. I know you spit in that cop's face and stuff, but it looks like you're going through a lot. Tell you what, we're gonna let you go on home." And then you get off with crazy shit. Meanwhile, I didn't even do the shit, and I'm getting arrested.
Anytime that I'm worried about him still being alive, I'd get on Crime Stoppers and see if I could find any videos of him.
Yeah,
they were there.
I think I probably even mentioned a couple weeks ago. The last time I got arrested, it's been years now. I was driving to my mom's house, go check on my mom, being a good damn son. And I get there, and a cop follows me, and they just go, "Hey, John, how's it going? Talk, guys, I'm here to check on my mom." Didn't even let me check on my mom, who I was worried about her health. But they arrested me for a warrant. Didn't know what for. They just arrested me. I was in jail for hours, not knowing. And they can't keep you there without telling you why you're arrested. But I was heading home before I even found out. And I had worked with the the pastor for the jail there before. So the pastor and I are talking. We call my mom, get me out. Everything's good. I mean, I had to pay.
Yeah,
shit.
of course.
I'm putting on my shoes. As I leave, they tell me what I got arrested for, and it was an outstanding warrant on a city violation. That's all I knew. But okay, I'm waiting for my court date, which they never sent me. They never sent me info. I had to go out and research and find out. But come to find out, a house I had bought like 10 years before this, a house I had bought, the guy that used to own the house 2 owners ago, got a citation for not mowing the lawn. So he didn't mow the lawn. The city mowed it, sent him a fine for it. 10 years later, 2 owners later, they look up the house. I own the house. So they come arrest me for that guy's bullshit 10 years ago. And I never got a sorry, I never even got a, hey, we dropped all the charges or nothing. They just ignored it. And when I asked, they're like, oh, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I want that in writing.
I've got 10 stories like that.
Oy.
Where it's just fucking, I didn't do anything, but I was wrong place, wrong time, whatever.
All right. Well, it is 8:30, kind sir.
Yeah. We're not even talking about con shit. We're talking about getting arrested in strip clubs.
I tried to bring it back around to con stuff. I brought it back to Kansas Con, and then we veered off again.
You did.
It's all because of Kelly.
Damn it. And I didn't have my notebook in here with the dates, so I should go ahead and hit. Kansas Con is next month. We have 3 local conventions here going on next month. We have the Hutch Minicon coming up the 12th and 11th and 12th, I believe, or right around that time. We've got Kansas Con coming up the weekend after that. And I can't remember the other third one here locally. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes.
NakaCon.
Well, NakaCon, that's happening the same weekend as Kansas Con.
Yeah, NakaCon's the same weekend as Kansas Con. Then we got Planet Comic Con on the 22nd.
Right.
What's NakaCon?
NagaCon's an anime festival. Matter of fact, they're probably one of our biggest competitors for Anime Fest, Wichita.
The Hutch
they're in Kansas City.
Mini-Con is on the 8th.
The what? Hutch Mini Con. Yeah,
8th of
the 8th.
March.
Yeah, I was thinking 11, 12. Yeah, it's a one-day thing. No big guess at that one. It's almost more like a swap meet festival in a way, but there you can get some good shit there.
Yeah, that's all I have on the calendar so far.
Yeah, because next month's when shit's going to start rolling, we'll probably have to be doing some various other stuff, but it'll be a lot easier getting people on because we'll be seeing them almost every weekend. What we were just talking, the 13th and 14th of April now is Great Plains Ren Fair this year. They moved it up. Norman, I believe, is the weekend before that. Then we got Easter. Yeah, so like going to be somewhere every weekend of April, or at least I am.
Yeah, we've got
there's a lot coming up.
Yeah, 12th, 13th. Easter is the 20th. And Becca's wedding is the 26th. That's going to be fun.
Are you officiating
Oh,
that?
hell no.
Oh, I didn't know you've been tight with Becca forever, and people tend to pull you into officiate weddings a lot.
Yeah,
so
no, they're actual churchgoers, so I think they're doing
so they don't want you anywhere near it.
Well, yeah, basically,
You're
they're
not
afraid
allowed
the
in
holy
the
water
church.
will burn me, so.
I was going to say, I'm an actual churchgoer, but I'll let a Dudeist monk do my wedding shit.
Anyways, we all need to get some dinner. It's almost, it's 8:30, man.
Kelly says, screw you, Tim. You do look like a pothead. Come on. I know I do.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm looking like an old pothead.
Kelly, that'd be the best night of your fucking life, Bubba.
And also the last one, because nobody talks.
Yeah, because after that night, you'll never have to worry about having sex again, because the idea of it will sicken you.
Yeah, you'll just cry and take showers.
All right. We should hop off. We'll see you guys next week with real info and not just bullshitting. So,
all right.
Hugs and kisses.
Bye-bye. And we are